could see what you were filming. Okay, fine. Okay, so here we go. Hi guys, I'm doing a YouTube series this year. This is very exciting. This year I'm doing a read through British history, and every month I'm focusing on a different era of British history, and I'm reading a selection of books related to that era and then planning related trips around London and the UK. So for the month of January, the book I chose was Britain BC by Frances Pryor, and I read it on my Kindle, so I don't have the physical book to show you. I'll try to put a screenshot of the book in the corner here if I can figure out that editing magic, which I doubt. In any case, I'll put a link in the description. We did a day trip to Avebury, which a lot of people haven't heard of, but it's right next to Stonehenge, and it's a prehistoric stone circle that's almost cooler than Stonehenge because there are less people, there's a village right in the middle of it, and I'm going to insert some footage now. I also want to talk you through some key takeaways from the book because it was definitely archaeology focused, which was interesting for me because I didn't know anything about archaeology, and it was all about, the technical aspects of archaeology. But I think definitely as we got closer to the historic era, I would like to have learned more about the culture of Iron Age Britain. He made some references to what was going on culturally, but he was still focused on artifacts and excavations, which was interesting, but I knew that there was culture there to talk about and he just didn't. So that I kind of felt like I was missing out on. And then I remembered that I have this book, which is a massive book, but it's the Occult, Witchcraft and Magic in Illustrated History. And luckily there's a whole section on Druids, which will fill in at least some of those gaps for me, and a whole section on Celtic magic. So that is one small criticism of the book, but oh shit, is it Celtic? Okay, I'm just gonna cut that. Okay, so some of the key takeaways from the book. Very early on, he said this quote, which I thought was exactly why I wanted to do this project in the first place. So he says, "Without an informed understanding of our origins and history, we will never place our personal and national lives in a true context." So that, on page 5, perfectly explained why I wanted to do this year. I think a lot of the day trips that I'm planning are actually very much what British school children do as field trips growing up. So I think I'm ticking a lot of boxes that a lot of my colleagues and friends here kind of did when they were in 3rd grade in England. So that's fun. Making offerings to water was a big theme throughout prehistory. So they find a lot of really well-preserved items, things that don't look like they were made and not even used at all and just thrown into a bog or a marsh or a fen, or a river or a lake. And sometimes it's swords that have been bent or kind of destroyed in some way but not used, and often they're really beautiful items. It must have been some sort of religious practice where they were making offerings to bodies of water. One thing he points out is that this practice of making offerings to water continues to this day. We still throw coins into fountains and make wishes, and that is basically making an offering to water. And that was the second day trip we did in January, which was a trip to the Museum of London, where they have a massive display of artifacts that they found in the Thames over the years. I'm gonna insert some footage here. Okay, so we're on our way to the Museum of London, where we're gonna see
two exhibits. one exhibit.
What are you doing with the exhibits? Where, according to my book, they have artifacts that were found in the Thames from prehistoric times. So that's where we're going to see those, and then we're going to the orchestra, and it's gonna be great. And it's cold. Yeah.
That's why we are not
We're not on the motorcycle because we would be popsicles. Okay guys, so that is the end of what I wanted to tell you about what I learned in January. Next month in February, we're focusing on Roman Britain. So yeah, we'll have an update on that next month. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thumbnail.
It's cool.
It's cool. Okay, I can never make ad revenue with language like that. Okay, bye. No, I need you to look at me when you're hiding like that. I feel stupider. I'll try to put it.
You don't have to wait.